Здравствуйте, уважаемые студенты, родители, коллеги. В преддверии Дня карьеры в Международной гимназии Сколково, которая пройдет уже 26 ноября, информацию я сейчас размещу на канале YouTube, в корпорации с отделом культуры и образования при посольстве Великобритании. Сегодня у нас интересное мероприятие, и я хотела бы пригласить Дарью Лаврентьеву, руководителя международных образовательных проектов при посольстве Великобритании, которая расскажет и представит наших спикеров. Вся сессия будет вестись на английском языке. Пожалуйста, задавайте вопросы в чате. Мы начинаем. Дарья, здравствуйте.
Спасибо, Алена. Здравствуйте. Большое спасибо за приглашение при участии в этом мероприятии. Так как мероприятие будет на английском языке, я поприветствую наших уважаемых слушателей на английском. Welcome to the session, Startup, How to Develop and Promote Your Business Ideas. My name is Daria, and I'm the International Education Services Manager Russia, working in the Cultural and Education section of the British Embassy in Moscow for over 4 years. The series of online meetings with academics of the UK universities are organized by the Cultural and Education section of the British Embassy in Moscow for selected Russian schools. And we are very glad to welcome all students, parents, and of course teachers, and all IB programs representatives. The events are organized as a part of the biggest online educational fair of UK education, Study UK. This fair is a great opportunity for you to meet over 45 leading UK universities, get all the useful tips and information about UK education by watching webinars, and book one-to-one meeting for further consultancy. This session will last for about 40 minutes and is being recorded. Our speakers will be really very happy to answer all your questions, so please write all your questions into the comments section under the video of YouTube. We will monitor all the questions and we will definitely ask them and ask speakers to provide more details. Just a brief information about our speakers. So we are very happy to introduce you to our speakers from Swansea University. It is entered into the top 30 best British universities according to Times and Sunday Times rankings, good university guides. And it is also one of top 5% ranking among the universities in the UK. And Swansea University is known as an outstanding research and high quality teaching institution. And it has a unique location. The university is located just on the southwest coast of Wales. The university is proud for its high education standards, and according to the results of the state assessment of the quality of education, the university got a teaching excellence gold ranking. So we have two brilliant speakers today. David Bolton, he's a director of the undergraduate business management program at the University School of Management, and he will give us a lecture based on his over 20 years of experience. The lecture will be dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. He has a great, really rich experience in marketing, business development, so he will be very happy to share all his ideas and thoughts with you. We also have James Butler here. He is a leading specialist in the School of Management and helps all the university students to realize their potential in the fields of entrepreneurship and innovation as effectively as possible. So now I would like to hand this over to James first. Thank you, James.
Thank you, Daria. Yes, and hello everyone. And it's fantastic to be here with one foot in Russia. We're almost there. So yeah, thank you very much for coming along today, and we're really looking forward to talking to you all about entrepreneurship, starting up new businesses, and how Swansea University facilitates that as well. So yes, really good to see everyone, and thanks to Daria and Elena and everybody else for making this happen. I'm going to introduce my colleague as well. As mentioned by Daria, we've got David Bolton with us as well. So Dave, do you want to come on screen and say hello to everyone and do a quick introduction?
Thanks, James. Hello, everybody. My name is David Bolton. I'm the Program Director for the BSc Business Management Program at Swansea University. So I look after around about 1,200 students and about 56 modules of study. So quite a big program. Thanks, James.
Thank you, Dave. So it's great to have so many people, students, parents, families with us today. We want to try and make this session as interactive as we can. And obviously it's quite difficult not being in Russia with you. We wish we were, but we can still do some good things online. So over the course of this session, we're going to run a couple of polls and we're going to ask a couple of questions to you guys. And you can participate in that by visiting this website. So it's Slido. So it's sli.do. And then when you get there, just put the event code Swansea Uni in on the screen. So we can do a little trial perhaps now while we're here. If you put that on the screen, you should see a question come up which asks you, are you already an entrepreneur? So let's see what the results are for that shortly. But if I could ask you please to visit Slido and pop the code Swansea Uni in on the screen when you see it. So we'll give it a moment or two just to let you get set up with that, and then we'll see the results come through on the screen as we speak. So I'll share those results with you all now. I can see somebody has already voted on the poll, which is encouraging, and they've said no. A lot of people are saying no. That's interesting, Dave, isn't it? So you should be able to see on the screen the results coming through now. Lots of people saying no. So nobody is qualifying themselves as an entrepreneur, and that's interesting, Dave. Perhaps we'll come on to that later on, because
yeah, definitely very interesting there, James. That's something we can touch on a little bit later.
Definitely. And we've got one now. What I'll do, I'm going to leave this poll running over the course of this first part of the session, and we'll revisit this, shall we, Dave, later on. Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. So perfect. Let's if I go back to my to our screen, what we'll do initially, we'll give you a very quick overview of who we are, and I think Daria made a fantastic introduction just now to Swansea University and who we are. So we'll give you a little bit more context as well. If I can just get my my slides up on screen. Here we go. Perfect. Bear with me for a second. There we are. There we go. We got there in the end. So yeah, Daria gave a fantastic overview of us, so I won't labor it too much. But those of you who may have visited the UK before, perhaps you have. If you haven't, hopefully soon you'll be able to come and see us. This is where Swansea is. We're on the southwest coast of Wales. So we're very fortunate to have a wonderful coastal scenery, a really nice environment to study. But we're not far from the likes of London, from Manchester, from Bristol, and of course Cardiff, which is the capital of Wales, which is where we are on the west coast of the UK. And I can't talk about Swansea without at least mentioning our wonderful football team, who are not quite in the Premier League, but maybe soon we'll be back up there again. Fingers crossed. So at Swansea University, we have two campuses. So we have the Bay campus, and this is where we are in the business school. And the Bay campus is our newest campus. So it was built in 2015. It's a wonderful place to study. Of course, it's right on the coast there. But probably most importantly, the Bay campus is home to a lot of our industrial partners as well. So already thinking about you guys perhaps wanting to start your own businesses, the opportunity to network with really successful businesses whilst you're a student is there, because they're working with us directly at the university. Of course, as well as Bay campus, there's the Singleton Park campus. This is the more traditional campus. So this is where the likes of law and other subjects are based there. But as I say, us in the business school, we're here. We're on the new Bay campus, and it's a very exciting place to be. That much is for sure. And of course, we're 100 years old as well, so it's quite an exciting time to be speaking to you guys in Russia as we celebrate our 100th birthday at the moment. So the courses that we run at Swansea University, of course, in the School of Management, this is a pretty broad mix of different programs relating to finance, relating to business. So, of course, your accounting and finance, economics, marketing, and so on. Most of you guys, if you're interested in starting your own business and becoming a true entrepreneur, will of course be interested in business management. And as Dave indicated earlier, this is his subject area. This is where he oversees the whole syllabus there, including some of the exciting entrepreneurship modules, which we'll come on to later on. So to study at Swansea University, and Daria has already mentioned sort of where we are in the United Kingdom in terms of our prestige, our standings, and our rankings. A lot of you guys are taking the International Baccalaureate. So for the International Baccalaureate students, we'd look for an overall score of around 32. And that would include a 5 at standard level English or a 4 at higher level English. I'm sure most of you won't have any problems with that at all. And I should point out as well that mathematics isn't something that we ask for either to come onto any of our business courses. But that's enough. We're not here to talk all about Swansea University. We're here to talk specifically about entrepreneurship and specifically about some of the exciting things that happen in Swansea. And the best person to do that really is David Bolton. So Dave, you introduced yourself a little bit earlier on. But if I could bring you in again, do you mind, Dave, just giving a little bit of context as to your work, particularly within startups? And of course, you're Director of Enterprise Educators UK, as you can see on screen there. You've been involved in lots of exciting projects enabling students to start businesses and really become as innovative as possible.
Yeah, thanks, James. I'm fairly new to academia. I've been in Swansea University about 8 years now, and before that, I used to work for the Welsh government in terms of helping individuals to start up their own businesses and young people in particular. And I brought that into the university with me when I decided to join. So I think Swansea's fairly unique in the way that it provides support because we provide both in curricular support. So and that's something I can go into a little bit later when we talk about the various different modules and how we apply entrepreneurship in Swansea University, but also extracurricular support as well. The Welsh Government fund a team of people within the university to provide support, advice, and office space in certain instances for students who wish to start their own business. So there's two main forms of support there. And as you were mentioning, I am a Director of Enterprise Educators UK. So that's an organisation, a UK-wide organisation that works with the government of the UK to promote support and the way that we teach enterprise at a standardised level within the UK. So we do a lot of lobbying of government ministers and have developed the standards that everybody teaches to within the UK. So that's a little bit about me.
And it's and so yeah, so Dave certainly is the best person to speak about inspiring you guys to start your own businesses up and making sure that you're on the right pathway to do so. Dave, very very briefly, obviously we had the logo on the last slide just now. You were involved with something over the course of this summer just gone, the Wales Summer Startup Week. Do you mind just telling us a little bit about that before we kick off?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work quite closely with other institutions in Wales to develop a number of different initiatives, and one of the the reactions, I suppose, to the COVID pandemic and the fact that we were all working from home during the summer, was that we decided as a group that we would put together a week of workshops, talks, and events online, that students could, and anybody really that had an interest could engage with. And we had TV personalities comparing and hosting the events for us. And we had nearly 50 businesses across Wales, student businesses, set up as a result of that. And we were lucky enough as a group to win quite a prestigious award from the UK government, highlighting the successes that we'd had in developing entrepreneurship in difficult times.
Brilliant. No, that's great, Dave. And I think it's we go from talking about helping young people, obviously in that capacity, but for us as a university, helping young people with startups, current students with startups is really important too. I thought we could start this session really by talking about our syllabus. How do we actually go about making sure that students at Swansea University, so maybe you guys watching in Russia, you're thinking about studying in the UK, you want to start a business, what are you going to learn on the course itself, first of all, about entrepreneurship? What skills will a business management degree give you in terms of entrepreneurship? Dave, do you want to give us an overview of
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. So I think the key message here is that that message at the top that's in bold, that entrepreneurship is embedded in everything that we do within the business management program. So a lot of people will think about entrepreneurship and immediately think of starting a business, but it isn't necessarily all about starting a business. It's about developing the key skills that will allow you to identify opportunities and to take advantage of those opportunities. So we focus very much on embedding these skills, such as creative thinking, such as problem solving, such as learning from failure, in everything that we do. And if I can focus on some of those pictures that we have there, we have a final year project that every student has to take in their final year, where we send groups of students out to real businesses to work on a change management or an enterprise-based program that they are trying to achieve. So students get the opportunity to use the skills that they've gained over the first 2 years of their study and put it into real action. In terms of the enterprise and innovation specialism, you can take that a stage further. So in the second year, we redeveloped our enterprise offering so that it gives you the opportunity to think about your business idea, to develop and research a real business idea, and then pitch it to a group of potential investors that we have within the school. So based on the outcome of that, we then actually provide money to these students to start up their business in the second part of the year. So the first part of the year, they write the business plan and present it, and the marks for that become part of their overall degree marks. Based on how good it is, they'll be provided with some funding, and that could be up to £2,000 per business. And then in the second half of the year, they run that business and are assessed on how they actually set it up. So what we've done is we've combined the application of enterprises and entrepreneurship as a skill, but we are assessing it academically. So you actually get the best of both worlds. And this program has been identified as best practice within the European Union framework for enterprise education. So there are a number of institutions that are now looking at what we are doing and are copying it as best practice. So yeah, it's a very strong offering. We have both across the board with all of the subjects of business management, but also specialising down into that venture creation element.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you, David. It's yeah, it's great to see obviously so much in the syllabus, and yeah, we'll touch shortly on some of the great success stories that our students have got to tell as well. I mean, we've seen some wonderful businesses started up through support from the school and from the university itself. We'll go into those examples in a moment. Now, of course, Dave's spoken a lot about the syllabus and how what you learn will help you to start a business, particularly in those entrepreneurship modules there, the pitching, the investing, and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of wider support out there as well. You don't just need to be studying that module to be able to access a lot of support for enterprise and for startups. So we're very fortunate to have our own enterprise support team. And Dave, again, this is a team that you're very well connected with as well. Is that right?
Yeah, this is the team that I was mentioning earlier that operates centrally across the whole of the university. And when I started working at the university, I was the overall enterprise support manager for the entire institution. But now working with the School of Management, I work very closely with them to develop that support and to help them to facilitate the various extracurricular activity that we provide. So as it says there are workshops, funding and office spaces I've already mentioned, but in addition, there are also enterprise placements as well. So from an extracurricular perspective, if we have students that are interested in setting up their business, but want to shadow and be mentored by an experienced entrepreneur, then we have the ability to offer students the opportunity to work alongside these people and see how they operate, see how they make decisions and how they develop the strategy for their businesses. And there's some interesting metrics there as well. So in the last 4 years, 131 students have actually started businesses, and we have engaged with over 10,000 students. So what that basically means is that we have sat down and talked to 10,000 students as an institution over the past 4 years and explored their entrepreneurship activities with them.
I think we should point out as well, the regional networking events. It sounds like a little bit of a buzzword, for example, networking, talking to people. It's vital when you want to start a business, and Swansea in particular is a really good place to start building your network. So Swansea was voted in, I believe, back in September. Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, the 4th best place in the United Kingdom to start your own business. Whole host of different metrics involved there, related to, of course, the university, but general success rates of other startup businesses too. If you want to start your own business, as a student, then Swansea is certainly the best place to at least start building your network.
Absolutely, and I mean it's the second city in Wales as you described, James. But the fact is, it's still a very small city in comparison to a lot of the other cities in the UK, and the ecosystem that we have of not just the university and the academics within the university, but how business, local businesses and larger businesses actually engage with us as an institution is really key. So we work quite closely with some of the regional development boards in that area.
Excellent, brilliant. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Dave. And I'm going to revert back to the question that we asked earlier on. We've got about 5 minutes left before we're going to jump into to questions from you guys who are watching. So let's jump back into that question that we asked at the beginning of the session, shall we, Dave? And for those of you who've joined us since then, sorry, don't know what that sound was there. For those of you who've just joined the session, then please do join us on Slido. So simply visit slido.com, enter the hashtag Swansea Uni, and you'll be able to participate in a bit of engagement here. Are you already an entrepreneur? Well, 25 people have answered the question, and of that 25, 88% have said no. Do you agree with that, Dave?
No, I don't. The fact is that when somebody is asked that question, are you an entrepreneur? Most people will automatically think the question is, have you got your own business? And what we're really asking is, do you have the skills to identify an opportunity? If you come across something that is very challenging, do you give up quickly, or do you look for innovative ways to overcome that problem? So you can be an entrepreneur and entrepreneurial, but working for somebody else. It's what we call being intrapreneurial. That's another buzzword for you. But everybody should aspire to be entrepreneurial in some shape or form. And one of the things that we say at Swansea University is that we don't want to necessarily create graduate entrepreneurs. What we want to create is entrepreneurial graduates. So there's a little play on words there, really. What we want is students to leave with a good degree from our university, but also have the skills that are going to make a difference to the organisations that they work for in future.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Dave. We're going to stick with Slido now for a minute or two more, and I want to ask you the next question, which is essentially, what do I actually need to be a successful entrepreneur? So that this is something where there's not necessarily a right answer or a wrong answer. I'm going to activate the poll now so that you can share your ideas. So this works in a similar way to the last question. What you need to do is just type in your ideas. What words come to mind when you think of successful entrepreneurs? What qualities come to mind? So have a think. No fear. There we go. So someone started already. Type your ideas in on Slido, and this will be really interesting, I think, to discuss with David for the last couple of minutes here now. So what do you think you need to be a successful entrepreneur? What do a lot of people say in answer to this question, Dave? If you're there, Dave. Aha.
I am. I'm just looking at the words that are coming up here now, and a lot of people, the first thing that comes out is that they need to have a good idea, and that isn't necessarily the case. The first phrase to pop up on that word cloud was no fear, and I think that is so true. Whoever put that up on the word cloud, then I absolutely agree with you. You've got to think, what is the worst that could happen? And what most successful entrepreneurs have in common is that they will all have failed numerous times. And instead of giving up, what they've done is they have reflected and learned from their experiences and tried again. And they may have tried again and failed again, but they keep going until they actually get it right. So it is this mindset. Passion and creativity, absolutely. So we need to be creative, not in necessarily coming up with new inventions. So coming up with a new computer or a new vehicle or whatever, but being innovative in the way that we look at problems that the world is facing at the moment. Just looking at some of the other words there as well. Soft skills, yeah, absolutely. So you need to be able to communicate effectively. It's all of these are right. All of these are right. They are exactly the sort of thing that we're looking for. So, I think if we were to then go back to the first question at some point, a lot more people would feel that they have these skills to be entrepreneurial in the future,
Definitely.
and therefore are entrepreneurs.
And let's look back at that again. 87% of people said no. I think if we asked again, more people would say yes. Brilliant. Really interesting, and it's always an interesting one to ask to students in this situation. I'm very aware we're going to jump to Q&A in a second. I did just want to show you, before we do so, some examples of some really good recent examples of startups, of student-led businesses that have come from the School of Management in very recent years. So we'll be very quick with these, so that we do have time for questions. But we've got loads of wonderful success stories that we have to share with you. So maybe should we take it in turns, Dave? And do you want to go first with the retro and vintage store?
Yeah. So Rad's, the retro and vintage store, was one of the businesses that came out of our second year entrepreneurship specialism pathway. They came up with the idea of going to various clothing recycling depots and searching through these huge mountains of clothes for designer garments that people had decided to recycle, picking the good ones and then recycling them and selling them. It's grown into a very strong business with an online presence now as well, and is turning over around about £4,000 a week at the moment. That's about $5,500–6,000. So yes, they're doing very well indeed.
Certainly. And then of course, we've got other examples, as Luke, who runs, he started this actually whilst he was doing his degree as well, running his coffee business from the back of what we call a smart car, a very, very small vehicle, which means he can attend lots of different events and different exhibitions and things like that as well. Am I right, Dave, in saying Luke obtained his funding through a similar method?
Yeah, so Luke got not all of his funding. He actually went out and saved up quite a lot and got some investment from friends and family. But we provided him with nearly £3,000 to enable him to equip his car out. And he is now at the point where he is franchising that business. So he's looking for other people to come along and join him in providing this mobile coffee service.
Certainly. And very, very briefly, we'll just touch on a couple of others. It was really hard to choose the different examples when we were putting this session together. We've got Neo, who's one of our students. He's from Cyprus. And he is running a business which he's looking actually at the moment to expand. We had a good conversation just yesterday. Again, much like some of the other students, he developed his business plan in the applied entrepreneurship module, was awarded £1,000, which meant he could buy his vending machine and stock. And now he's looking to expand. Now, this vending machine, he saw a gap in the market. Essentially, he noticed that in the library in Swansea University, there was no way of buying pens, books, all of the things that you might need at short notice when you're studying late at night. So he saw the gap in the market. The university backed him, and he's going from strength to strength now. And very, very briefly, we've left probably the best one to last. This Pilot Plus. So Joe and Jack running a flight simulation company with, last time I checked, it was about 3,000 customers across the world. Very inspirational duo, are they not, Dave?
Yeah, they are, and it's worth noting that that Joe, he only graduated last year from us, so he was running this business while he was studying. But during his time with us, he was identified as one of the top 30 entrepreneurs under the age of 30 in Wales. So you know, his business turned over nearly $100,000 within the first year of trading. So a huge success story there.
And Joe, I mean, Joe and Jack both, this was an idea, Pilot Plus, flight simulation company. This was something they'd thought of a long time before they came to university. And it's really positive to be able to say that, you know, with the university, the networking, the support, they managed to really get this off the ground quite literally. So okay, so I'm sure that's enough from us. We really want to hear your questions. So perhaps we'll hand over to Daria, who's got some questions for us from YouTube. People sending you in lots of questions, Daria.
Thank you so much, James. Quite a few. Thank you so much, David. So I have a questions from students that are dedicated to what you have just said about skills and opportunities for people to be an entrepreneur. So can people just be not relevant for being an entrepreneur and running their business, or just all of them are actually relevant for running business? And how do you suggest to develop leadership skills? Are there any tips?
Oh, go on, Dave. I've got to hand over.
You want me to take that one?
Go on then. For
okay.
Leadership skills.
Leadership skills is a very interesting one. I think there are so many different styles of leadership, some better than others, but it really depends on the personality of you as a leader, and how and what you are trying, and the organization that you are trying to lead. But effectively, you know, what we teach in terms of leadership is the action-centered model, where we are looking at three main areas. That is obviously achieving what you set out to achieve, but in conjunction with that, developing the individuals within your team, and also developing the team as a unit. So yeah, there's that's the key message really, is that it's all about the teamwork, developing the team, and achieving the task together.
Brilliant. Would it be okay, Daria, if we just bring Jessica Lumba in, my colleague who's just joined the call? I think she just needs to switch on her screen and microphone, because Jess has got some great knowledge as well, and will certainly be able to answer a lot of these questions in lots of depth too. Are you here, Jess?
I'm here. My
Jess.
video won't turn on, sorry.
Oh.
I can speak to you. That's me on the screen.
Yeah.
Hello, Jessica. So probably, do you have any solutions? We have questions from students who are interested. Is it possible to develop leadership skills? And is it possible that all people are actually not relevant for being a leader, or it is, well, not actually, is everyone actually suited for being a businessman and a leader, or and is it okay to develop this skill starting at the age of 15?
Definitely. Okay, just as an introduction, I know it says on the team, but I'm part of the employability team in the School of Management. So leadership skills and all other kind of employability skills are so important in students sort of developing their confidence. So we really encourage students to get involved in activities, whether that is sort of year in industry placements with a company, enterprise activities, volunteering, societies, where they can sort of establish these skills. So obviously there may be students listening who are 15 thinking, you know, I'm not a leader, but it is when you actually do get involved in these teams and kind of meet other students and kind of get out of your comfort zone that you do tend to find those skills, whether it's leadership or other skills. So I definitely think that everybody has it in them. It is just sort of being proactive and sort of getting involved in the extracurricular activities. It's great for your confidence, great for your skills, also great for your CV when searching for those graduate jobs, internships, part-time jobs, but just also develops you generally as a person. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Thank you, Jessica. And the last question before we go, is a team necessary for a successful business idea development, or is it possible to run a business on your own?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, from my perspective, and we'll bring Dave in here for some expertise shortly, but from my perspective, particularly in the university environment, it's a must to work as a team. You know, you'll always need support, you'll always need advice, and that could be through networks, that could be through speaking to Jess and her wonderful colleagues and getting lots of advice on how to present yourself, how to develop some of those key skills like communication, like pitching, for example, as well. It's always optimum to work in a team. Dave, do you want to add anything to that? Because I know you'll have lots of experience and examples too.
No, I think the key message with regards to teamwork is that as an individual, you are never going to have all of the skills, knowledge, and expertise that you need to be effective. So you always need to draw on the experience of others around you, be that as part of an informal team or as part of a more cohesive team within an organisation. So, you know, it's absolutely critical. I agree with you that you know, students and all individuals learn to work and to operate in that team environment. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say.
Thank you, David. And the very last question: do you think that timing is the most crucial factor for business success? And the question is about: is it possible to become a successful interpreter without having any education in this field?
Do you want me to answer that one, James?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Absolutely. I think if you look at most of the well-known global entrepreneurs, so people like Jeff Bezos, Roman Abramovich, you know, given a Russian flavor there, most of those individuals had very little, if no, experience from an academic perspective, and that is why we tend to try and not make what we teach fully academic, but make it as applied as possible as well.
Okay, and what about timing? Is it a crucial factor for business success?
James, do you want me to jump in there as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I was only going to say timing. I think it probably ties into some of the other questions you've asked there, Daria. Timing, you'll know about timing because you'll have done work and you'll have spoken to people, you'll have networked, you'll understand your market. So for me, yeah, timing is important, but you'll only obtain that timing through engaging with with the support that is out there, be it through the university, again through Jess's team, and be it through your networks as well, which is so important to generate. Sorry, Dave, I know you had
No. I just to complement what you were saying there, James, on the back end of that. There are always opportunities externally to take advantage of, whether or not you know, things are going well within the world or things are not going so well. So, you know, with the pandemic at the moment, there are always opportunities, and I can think of some students that I've got at the moment that are developing a drink and snack delivery business for students who are actually self-isolating at the moment. So there are always opportunities. So timing is what you make of it.
Okay, thank you so much, David and James, for your questions, for your answers. So we have the very last question before we leave the session, because we are a bit out of timing. So what are your thoughts about business after COVID? Will it change, and in what section it will be? Well, what segments of business will be affected most?
I think Jess Jess, sorry to put you on the spot, but you'll be really good to answer this one because you're working with businesses day in, day out, aren't you? So what do you think? Oh, she's on mute. Can we unmute Jess if possible?
Oh, sure.
Sorry, thank you. We've got, yeah, so we really encourage sort of business engagement through the employability team. It obviously, again, you get those kind of contacts, build your network. We run sort of every term, we run networking events where students get the chance to meet employers. They are actually assessed on their networking skills, and we actually provide kind of advice on how to network, but building on from that, they've got some kind of key contacts as part of their LinkedIn network. They can network with those employers to actually gain opportunities such as internships and kind of year in industry placements, mock interviews. So yeah, business engagement is kind of embedded throughout, and it is sort of really important.
And what about after COVID, Jess? Have you noticed how businesses that you're dealing with, have they changed the way they're working a lot now? And do you think they will after COVID as well?
Yeah, so a lot of them are sort of remote working, as kind of we all are, but I would say they have kind of successfully adapted to this new way of working. And initially it was that kind of phase of we weren't sure how kind of recruitment was going to go, but now sort of businesses have adapted to this new way of working. It seems that companies are still looking to take on students, they are still looking to engage, they are just doing it in a different way. So the networking event I mentioned, we did do it virtually via Zoom this semester, which was kind of a learning curve, but just a completely different way of doing it, but still kind of gave the students that business engagement contact. So who knows what it's going to be like after the pandemic. I kind of guess that businesses will still be kind of making the most of sort of this virtual platform, and how efficient that is, instead of kind of, the traveling and all that kind of thing. But I imagine it will be sort of a mixture, yeah.
Thank you so much, Jessica. So I would like to thank all of you for being a part of this event today. And to finish this session on the idea that still, we are living in a very challenging period at the moment, but this challenging period will give us a move for being successful entrepreneurs and for achieving great results, actually in all the periods of life that we live. So thank you so much. And I would like to remind to all the students and teachers and parents who are watching us now that the next session that is dedicated to the professions of the future and the technological progress and how it changes our lives, it will start just in 12 minutes. So please stay with us. Thank you so much, David, James, and Jessica, and hope to see you soon. Спасибо большое, друзья. До новых встреч на следующей сессии. У нас оставайтесь с нами, у нас будет сессия, посвященная профессиям будущего. Спасибо. Thank you.
Thank you, Daria.